The leader and deputy leader of Britain First were this afternoon found guilty of religiously aggravated harassment. Paul Golding, 36, the far-right group's leader, and his deputy Jada Franson, 31, targeted homes during the trial of Muslim men who raped a teenage girl. They were arrested last May as part of a probe into the distribution of leaflets and online videos posted during a trial at Canterbury Crown Court in the same month, after which 3 Muslim men and a teenager were jailed for rape. Judge Justin Barron said the duo's words and actions demonstrated hostility towards Muslims and the faith of Islam. Franson shot into the international media spotlight last November when U.S. President Donald Trump retweeted anti-Islamic posts from her Twitter page. Golding and Franson, of Penge, southeast London, stood trial in January charged with 3 and 4 counts respectively of the hate crime. The judge at Folkestone Magistrates Court in Kent found Franson guilty of 3 charges and Golding guilty of 1, but dismissed the other counts against them. He said, "I have no doubt it was their joint intention to use the facts of the case in Canterbury for their own political ends. It was a campaign to draw attention to the race, religion, and immigrant background of the defendants." Jamshed Khesrow told the court about an incident on May 5 last year when he was visiting 555 Pizza Takeaway, which his friend owns in Ramsgate, Kent. He said at the time that 2 children were playing in the middle of the shop and he went to investigate when he heard banging on the front doors and window. Mr. Khesrow told how he heard Franson screaming and shouting, "Come out, you pedophile. You're a rapist. Come outside, I want to talk to you." He said, "She was swearing. I was so scared, I thought she was going to start fighting with me. She was very aggressive and angry. I didn't know what was going on." There were sniggers from the public gallery which was packed full of the group's supporters as Mr. Khesrow gave his evidence from behind a screen. Mr. Khesrow told the owner to dial 999 and said Golding was filming at the time. Then he told the court he heard Franson shouting in the street, saying, "I'm not scared of the police. I don't care about the police." Mr. Khesrow added, "I've lived in England for 17 years and I've never been scared like this." When questioned as to why he had not previously mentioned the specific comments she made, he said, "Nobody asked me. If nobody asks me, how can I say it? You're asking me now, and I'm answering you. I don't need to lie to you. You know, and I know that she is swearing my religion all the time." Franson and Golding were arrested on May 10 over alleged campaigning around the then-ongoing trial of 3 Muslim men and a teenager, who were later convicted and jailed for raping a 16-year-old girl in a flat above the takeaway. When they were questioned by police over the distribution of leaflets and online videos posted during the trial, they did not comment. Earlier in the trial, the court watched video footage entitled "Muslim Rapists 2" which showed Faiz Rahmani standing with his brother Tamin Rahmani, one of the defendants, and his barrister outside by the door to Canterbury Crown Court. Franson was seen walking up the steps towards the group, asking if they were Muslim and what they were in for. Giving evidence in court, Mr. Rahmani claimed she called Muslims BS and rapists, comments which did not appear on the footage shown, and branded her aggressive and loud. The court heard in January that the 2 12- and 13-year-old daughters of Rahmani, one of the men who was convicted of the rape, were at 555 Pizza when Golding and Franson arrived. Footage shown to the court saw Franson banging on the windows of the restaurant and saying the words, "Using these restaurant to trap young girls, English girls, and rape them." "You dirty monsters. Yo, you are all going to be exposed. Come outside and face me." One of the children started filming Franson and Golding when the banging on the door and shouting had started. The mother of Taman Rahmani's children told the court that she heard Franson knocking at the door and said the shop was closed. She said she was banging and saying, come out, it was like someone was attacking you, really aggressive. Then I called the police. I didn't know who they were." The witness said her daughters were left in a worried state by the incident. She said they were crying. They were worried about them coming back. A second witness, PC Nicholas Mayo, said the two girls were his main concern when he attended the premises after the police were called. He said they were very distressed, very shaken up, and that one of the girls was clearly in tears. Kevin Smallcombe, defending in examining the mother of Rahmani's children, said the confrontation was very brief. "Would you agree with that?" She disagreed, but when asked said it lasted a couple of minutes, a maximum of 5 minutes. Jamshed Kesro, a friend of the family, was at the restaurant at the time. Giving testimony behind a screen, he said that Franson shouted at him, calling him a pedophile, and told him to come outside. He said that, out of fear, he hid in the back of the shop. Mr. Kesro said, "I was so scared, I was worried she was about to start fighting me. She was very angry. I was so afraid and so scared, I did not know what was going to happen." Another witness, Ikram Safai, told how he found a video on the Britain First website of Franson knocking on his door, but identifying it as the home of Sarsha Muslimir, another defendant in the trial who used to live there before him. Mr. Safai, who is originally from Afghanistan, has lived in the UK since 2013 and in that house for around 2.5 years, told the court in the video Franson said, "Come out, dirty Muslim. Rapist Muslim. Come out and speak to me face to face if you're man enough." He said a social worker advised him to move house, adding, "I was upset, scared, angry." Leaflets the group allegedly distributed in the street, which were shown in court, purported to feature a picture of Muslimir. But Mr. Safai, who had met him, said this was not him. The prosecution say Faiz Rahmani was wrongly identified as Muslimir in these leaflets. Prosecuting, Madeline Wolfe, said Golding and Franson demonstrated hostility towards individuals because of their membership of what they viewed as the Muslim faith. The defense to the allegations seems to be that they did not intend to cause alarm and distress. They argue they were entitled to act the way they did. In one of the videos shown to the court, Paul Golding, addressing the camera, talked about being targeted by the police. In it, he said, "People like me and Jada do not have breaking points." He added, "We are in this to the death. We are in this all the way." After today's hearing, Jaswant Narwal, from the Crown Prosecution Service, said, "The prosecution case demonstrated these defendants were not merely exercising their right to free speech, but were instead aiming religiously aggravated abuse at innocent members of the public." The victims suffered the distress of the abuse followed by additional stress when the footage was uploaded to the internet. This offending also related to an ongoing criminal trial, and the actions taken by Franson and Golding could easily have derailed the justice process.